We're going to explain how to fix the cannot read properties of undefined reading length error you often encounter when integrating data tables. This error usually pops up because DataTables is trying to access the length property of a variable that hasn't been properly defined or is currently undefined. Let's break down the common causes and solutions. 1. Incorrect data source. The most frequent cause is providing DataTables with an incorrect or empty data source. DataTables needs a valid array or object containing the data it should display. Double-check the variable you're passing to the data option in your DataTables initialization. Is it truly an array of arrays or an array of objects containing your data? If you're fetching data asynchronously, like from an API, make sure the DataTables initialization happens after the data has been successfully loaded. Use a then block in a promise or a callback function to ensure this. For instance, if your data is coming from a fetch call, the DataTables initialization should be placed inside the _then block of the promise. 2. Asynchronous data loading issues. If you're loading data asynchronously, be absolutely certain the data is fully loaded before DataTables attempts to use it. The length property check happens early in the DataTables initialization, and if the data hasn't arrived yet, the error will occur. This frequently occurs when using AJAX calls or fetching data from a server. Implement proper error handling for failed API requests. Display a message to the user rather than letting the error crash the script. 3. Typographical errors or incorrect variable names. A simple typo in the variable name referencing your data can lead to this error. Carefully review your code for any spelling mistakes or inconsistencies in how you're referring to your data array. Make sure the variable name you're using in the data option precisely matches the name of the variable holding your data. 4. Empty data array or object. Even if your variable exists, it might be empty. Ensure your data source actually contains data. Add some basic checks to verify the data has been fetched correctly before passing it to DataTables. A quick console.log your data array before the DataTables initialization can confirm if your data is properly populated. 5. Incorrect data structure. DataTables expects data in a specific format. If your data isn't structured as an array of arrays, for simple tables, or an array of objects, for tables with columns, DataTables will not be able to parse it correctly, resulting in this error. Make sure your data format aligns with DataTables expectations. Consult the DataTables documentation for the correct data structure. 6. Debugging techniques. Utilize your browser's developer console to investigate the issue thoroughly. Set breakpoints in your code, particularly before the DataTables initialization. Inspect the value of your data variable to see if it contains the expected data and if its structure is valid. Check the Network tab to ensure data is correctly being fetched from an API if that's the data source. By carefully tracing the code's execution and examining the data's structure at various points, you'll often pinpoint the root of the problem. The console.log statement is invaluable for debugging in these situations.